Hi, I'm Glenn Simpson, and I've collected comic books for over 40 years, and I'm showing off my collection one box at a time. Today, we're working on box number 35. It's going to start off with some more Cable, and we are going to get into some Cage, and then we'll finish up with some Captain America. Simple as that. So I hope that you will like, comment, subscribe. If there's anything inside one of the packs that you'd like me to do a video on, I'll be happy to do that. And let's get going. All right, getting the party started with the second Cable series. I don't have all of these. I'm still working on that, but I have issue 1 right here. And let's see, I have jumped to issue 11 right there. And then that pack has goes all the way through issue 16 right there. And then I've got 17. I think I finish it out. I just didn't have that 2 through 9. 17 right there. Oh no, my hand's out of control again. And then issue 20, of course, this is the series where Bishop believes that baby Hope is going to be the end of all the mutants, and Cable is on the run to protect her with her, and so Bishop has become a bad guy, but that's okay, everybody will get over it later. That's issue 20. Got a big boy book. I believe it's just, this is because Hope is her first appearance as an adult. Right there. Some gloss. Gotta figure out how to deal with that, but that's issue 21, if you can see it. There we go. And Mylars are protective, but they are shiny. Issue 22. There. Cable. And issue 25, which I don't know. Some people file this as Deadpool Cable, but it was right on the heels of issue 24, so I put it here. And did the same with issue 26. Since the numbering kind of continues on, and I don't think it changes in the indicia. Right there. Then we've got the next Cable series right here. Issue 1 of that, and it runs through, there's issue 5, and then this is the point at which Marvel renumbers all their books to their sort of historical legacy numbering in the same month. So we get issue 150. This was kind of interesting. We had Cable running through time and gathering up mutants from various time points to run a mission with him. And that runs through 154 there. Continues into 155 there, Cable, and 159 ending there, plus Showdown to Extermination, which I believe was working towards the original X-Men who had been thrown forward in time, getting them back to their original time. Then we had seen the introduction of younger Cable. So Cable comes forward at a teenager, young adult age and hangs out with the other teenage, young adult heroes for a bit. And he has his own series there for a while. So that's issue 1. And this goes through issue 4. This is all during the Krakoa period, I believe. 4 of that. Well, yeah, because it's X of Swords crossover. Issue 5, 6. Whatever. Wait, this is. Hang on. 5. Yeah, 5. 5 of that. And runs through issue 8. Domino looking on. There. Got, issue 9. There, he is of course dating more than one of the of the cuckoos. It's kind of a interesting development there. Issue 9 through issue 12. Getting a little looks like a little advisory from his older self. Issue 1 of the next Cable series with right here during the fall of the House of X period. That runs through issue 4. This was basically old and young together going on a mission. There. Cable and Deadpool in that order. Annual right here. Trying to keep a track of everybody. And we have a few Cable and X-Force series. From Marvel Now, Cable and X-Force number 1. Right there with this particular group of heroes and sort of heroes. And that goes through issue 8 there. And issue 9 there. A little Thor, little M.O.D.O.K, Wolverine action there. And issue 14 right here, again facing the, I guess that's the Uncanny Avengers if you've got mutants and Avengers on the same team. And we've got Cable and X-Force number 15. Still the Dennis Hopeless series right there. And that runs through Cable and X-Force number 19. There. Out of order here, hang on. Back real quick. Lost. Okay. Then we got the sort of original 2-issue Cable series. Cable, Blood and Metal. First time Cable's appearing kind of on his own outside of X-Force. Right there. Got issue 1 there. And issue 2 right there. Got the very recent Cable Love and Chrome, time-traveling love adventure for Cable. Even Cable needs love, man. Issue 1 through issue 5. Cable versus Cable versus Cable versus Cable. And a one-shot from this last Annihilation little run of one-shots. Cable Reloaded. The big sword. So coming out of Cable, we get into Cage. So we've got this series from the 90s, bringing back Luke Cage, Power Man. Still a very superhero-y book. Can't remember who wrote this, but he's just going by Cage at this point, thus putting him here, alphabetically speaking. Got issue 1. And that goes through issue 8. Got some Avengers back there. The Evil and the Cure. Right there. And then issue 12. Cable re-team hanging out with his old buddy Iron Fist, who he thought he killed, and then he came back to life, and then he wasn't dead anymore. And I think maybe they had never gotten around. They brought Iron Fist back, but they'd never gotten around to putting the two of them back together again. So I think that's what's going on here. And then we got issue 9. Got the Hulk and the Rhino going up against Cage. Who will win? We've got issue 13. Yeah, got a guy with rods for arms going up against Cable there in Cage 13. And go to 16. Crossover. So this is a 3-way crossover with the Terror, or Terror Inc. was the name of the book, and Silver Sable's book. So this was a storyline that had all of them together. So if you're not familiar with the Terror or Terror Inc., be sure to look that one up. That's disgusting. And we've got 17. Luke Cage going up against the Crusader. And it was during the Infinity Crusade, which was when the sort of female side of Warlock has emerged as the goddess, I believe it was, and is inspiring tremendous devotion amongst various people, and that would include the Crusader, who's kind of a nut. And that series ends with issue 20, with Cage going up against the Thing and Human Torch over here. And we have another run of Cage. This one, Brian Azzarello, Mike Corbin, kind of a streetish, gold tooth kind of version of Cage for Max, so not necessarily all in canon and everything, but we got issue 1 there, going through issue 5. I feel like this is a bit all not something you could publish today, as it were. Issue 5, that. And so now we begin with Captain America. Now my run of Captain America doesn't go too far back, so we start with a few trades that reprint Captain America and the Falcon issues. This one is basically Captain America and the Falcon Mad Bomb, so it reprints 193 through 200. That's the trade for that. And then we've got cheated a little on this. This one is Bicentennial Battles by Jack Kirby, and it has 201 through 205 and the Marvel Treasury, the big huge Captain America Bicentennial Battles book reprinted here. definitely. Captain America and the Falcon, the Swine, trade paperback, which is 206 through 214, and annual 3 and 4, right there, which gets us kind of into the 1976 or so, which is where I like to pick up on my single issues. Start off with individual issues. We have 215 right here, 35 cents on Captain America and the Falcon, number 215. Who is Steve Rogers? I believe this is that sort of weird new origin for Steve that got ignored by a lot of people. Got 216, which I believe is a reprint of the story from Strange Tales where the Human Torch battled Captain America, but it wasn't really Captain America. It was the acrobat, I believe, in disguise. So technically Captain America himself doesn't appear in this issue. But then we go back to 219. Got Captain America and Bucky sort of remembering their time visiting the set, a flashback part of the story to when Captain America and Bucky are visiting the set of the Captain America serial that was made in Hollywood back during the 1940s. So even in the same thing that got shot in the real world was shot in his. We got issue 20 or 220 of Captain America. Captain America going up against a giant version of himself called the Ameridroid, and the Falcon doing his best to help out. And we skipped to 224. Captain America, I believe this was the one where he was pulled out of the drink and he didn't remember who he was, and it turned out he had been put under some kind of deep cover and had to find his way back to being Steve Rogers. And then we've got 225, some Frank Springer cover art there, legs all over the place, and Captain America 225, Secret of Cap's Other Life. And we go to 229. Ooh, there he is, Wendell Vaughn, currently Marvel Boy, soon to be Quasar, and he's one of the super agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right there. Captain America 229. This highly lauded lately book, Captain America 230, because of the scene in Captain America Brave New World, I believe it is, with the Red Hulk fighting Captain America. So then everybody jumped on this one. So that's Captain America 230. Right. Captain America 231. Right there, fighting kind of a variation on the Ku Klux Klan. And right there, we're getting into the point where I actually had a subscription to this book, and so sometimes these are my original issues and sometimes they are not, and I can't really tell right this second. I don't think this is my original issue of Captain America 234. Right there, Cap teaming up with Daredevil. That's a cool cover. They're mad at each other, as you do. And 235. Okay, here's an original issue, because as I've mentioned in the previous videos, I, for some reason, decided to put a red dot on all of my books. So I guess that's really handy now for knowing which were my original copies of all these books. But Captain America letting the blind guy fly the plane seems like a good move. My original issue of 236 with Cap going up against Dr. Faustus, or completing his battle with Dr. Faustus. We've got 237 right there. This was one where we confirmed that Sharon Carter was dead. Of course she wasn't, but she was. Right there. Got 238. Captain America climbing a mountain with his shield on his arm. Not hard at all. Got 240. Captain dealing with Coney Island. I think as a kid, I decided that Coney Island must be a very violent place, because you got all these thugs hanging out in Coney Island. Now let's all just shed a tear for my Captain America 241. I was a kid. I had the books strewn about, had a piece of paper that I was coloring on with blue magic marker, and the blue magic marker soaked through. I've tried some various chemicals and things, which is what that's coming about. So this is my really crappy copy of Captain America 241, which is Frank Miller cover. Frank Miller Punisher. It's like the first Frank Miller Punisher or something like that. So it's still a pricey book just by virtue of what it is, but yeah, pretty sad. And of course that's the main kind of ink you can't get out. So it is what it is. It is ugly, but it is mine. So there you go. And we go to 242 with Cap going up against all kinds of illusions and androids and things in this situation. And then 246, George Perez cover. Shout out to George Perez. And no, although nothing else truly remarkable about this issue. 246. We've got John Byrne coming on, and we've got Baron Strucker, Howling Commandos, getting into getting into that Byrne. Captain America is not a bad place to be in 247. That has continued into 249 with Cap versus the Machine Smith right there, and all his half-built androids. We got issue 250. Somebody floats the notion of Captain America running for president. Right there. 253. Cap going to be fighting old Baron Blood again. Left over from his World War II times, and this will involve the Destroyer and Union Jack and people changing identities and all that good stuff. And as mentioned, we got Baron Blood right there. This guy does not wear his Union Jack suit in the story at any point. Don't worry. Then we go to 257. So we've had some beautiful John Byrne, and now we've got some Al Milgrom. Okay. But hey, we got the Hulk back. So there you go. 258. Captain America versus Blockbuster. Right there. Some Mike. Is that Mike Zack? Mike Zack. Now we're into Mike Zack. Mike Zack Captain America is good Captain America in 258. We've got 260. Some early Frank Miller action on that, if I remember correctly. No, Al Milgrom again. Sorry. Al Milgrom on that. Thinking about that Amazing Spider-Man issue with Peter behind bars. And somebody said, hey, let's see if we can get that Zack guy back. Captain America finds out that somebody else is using the Nomad identity that he had used when he was not happy with the United States. So he's gone to Los Angeles to find that guy and chat with him in 261. We jump to 265. Another Mike Zack cover. Every time I say Zack, take a drink. And going up against with Nick Fury and Spider-Man against the Sultan there. Got 266, still hanging out with Spider-Man as you do. There, fighting giant robots. Got 267, the menace of every man right there. The 269, the team up that was born to happen, Captain America and Team America going up against, what's his name? It's not Nuklon, I don't know, but anyway, you couldn't ask for a more reasonable team up than Team America with Captain America in 269. Then we jump to 274. Got Baron Strucker going up against Cap, and Cap's trying to save. I think this was like the head of the Howling Commandos, you know, their sergeant or whatever. They're the guy who sent them on missions. I'm terrible with military stuff. We got this classic beauty cover for Captain America 275. Right there. Patang, patang, patang. There. Like Zack. Got 276. Cap going up against a bunch of yellow squishy dudes. There. 280. He's fighting the Marvel version of the Scarecrow. It's completely different from the DC version of the Scarecrow. There. 281. Captain America, seeing some old footage of he and Bucky during wartime, with guest starring Spider-Woman. So I believe this was kind of a crossover with the Spider-Woman book, or resolving some stuff that had been going on in the Spider-Woman book, that kind of thing, because Viper was an enemy of Spider-Woman. 281. You've got your classic, there's not really a gargoyle here, but your gargoyle sit for Cap, looking out on his city he protects. 285. Captain America versus the Porcupine. There's no menace worse than the Porcupine, with his quills of death right there. And we get, hey, it's Assistant Editors Month. So 1 month, all the editors were gone to San Diego Comic-Con, and the assistant editors were put in charge of all the books, and so wacky things ensued. And this one was about Bernie, Cap's girlfriend, having a dream or daydream that she is Bernie America, and she's going to save the day, and gets confused about M.O.D.O.K and the Red Skull, and thinks they're the same person, and hilarity ensues right there. And we're getting into some, okay, so make sure nothing's out of order. That's confusing me for a second. So the guy who, they established that in the 1950s, the guy in Captain America comics was not really Steve Rogers. It was this other two guys, or this other guy and his Bucky, and his Bucky's real name was Jack Monroe. And so then Jack Monroe survives all that time, and Cap hands him down the Nomad identity. And so now he is Nomad, and he is sort of a sidekick to Cap, as well as Falcon there. And there's a beautiful John Byrne shot of the three of them. In 290, 294, Captain Nomad going up against a new Devil Slayer who is completely different from, he's picked up the suit and stuff from the other Devil Slayer. So I think the other Devil Slayer is dead or something, I don't know, but kind of a crossover with the Defenders a little bit there in 294. 295, Sisters of Sin. There, one of these I think is Sin, the character who would go on to be in more modern books. But got 295 there. They're going up against, each one of them kind of has different powers, and they all work for the Red Skull, who Cap fights in the final issue. We find out that Nomad has unknowingly been poisoning Cap, so Cap is kind of weakened, and is meanwhile the Red Skull is running around in a cloned body of Cap. So things that the worm is turned, and in this completely normal sized 300th issue, they hash it out, and Cap comes out on top, of course. Get to 301, trying to revitalize Cap's super soldier serum so he can be a badass again, and Mother Night invades and almost prevents it from happening, and the Avengers trying to hook him up, and it all works out. Okay. Paul Neary has become the right artist here, by the way. If I didn't mention that earlier, taking over from Zach. He would do it for a long time. British artist. 304, Captain America at full strength, going up against a big robot thingy. Right there, 304. And, the other meeting that was meant to happen, Captain America and Captain Britain teaming up. Doesn't look like they're teaming up very well here, but they will. And Captain America 305. And Captain America 308, we have the Cap going up against the Armadillo. Because there was an animal that we hadn't done a villain of yet. Armadillo. Somebody was looking at in their encyclopedia of animals. Got 309, the return of Madcap, who was in a previous issue that we didn't see, fighting Nomad, Madcap, Cap America. All their names overlap with each other. 309, 312, early appearance of the Flag Smasher. So this was a big boy book for a little while, with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show and that character being the Flag Smasher, or that group being the Flag Smashers. But he doesn't like geographic borders. He just doesn't like them. He just wants to do away with geographic borders. Everybody hates something. We got 313 M.O.D.O.K getting attacked by the Serpent Society and being a big old puss there. But to be fair, Death Adder is pretty darn scary. So, but Cap will save him. 317. We got an adventure of Cap and Hawkeye where they have to trade stuff. And we got, this is Paul Neary on pencils and Jackson Geis on inks there. So nice little combo right there. Let's see. We got Cap versus Blue Streak, who, as I recall, won't last very long because of the scourge of the underworld. Boom Spack is going to take him out, going around killing villains left and right. 318, 322. Cap is once again fighting the Flag Smasher right there. Got the border cover there for the 25th anniversary, and I think this is the one where Scourge takes out a ton of villains all at the villain bar there with his Boomspack weapon gun thing. Got 324 Paste Pot Pete, aka the Trapster, and the Whirlwind going up against Cap right there. And we've got 328, the emergence of D-Man, former Unlimited Wrestling Federation wrestler turned sidekick to Captain America. Don't worry, Cap, I'll save you. 329. Captain America in the sewers of Los Angeles, dealing with critters that live there. 332. Captain America No More. So we have the beginning of the storyline wherein the government says, hey, you're Captain America, you belong to us, you do what we tell you to do, and Captain America says, if that's going to be the case, then I'm not going to be Captain America, and gives up the costume of Captain America, who will it go to? Well, that's the question. Who will be the next Captain America, right? Could it possibly be, was it Super-Patriot, who would have been appearing in a few issues over the last, in this series? Couldn't possibly, but real name John Walker? Couldn't possibly be. I think so. And so, John Walker becomes the new Captain America, and his buddy Lemar something becomes the new Bucky right there, and he's Bucky for all of 5 seconds until but meanwhile Steve Rogers is, taking a vacation, and his sidekicks have to get together and try to figure out where he went. There. And it turns out he was off getting a new shield and a new suit, and he's now the captain. And he is still teaming up with Nomad and Falcon and D-Man And we have this homage cover to, what is it, Avengers 4, with the return of Captain America right there. Meanwhile, Delmar is still Bucky and 337, but here in one of these issues, he realizes, wait a minute, Bucky is probably not a good name for a black man, and he becomes Battlestar. But while Captain America goes up against Iron Man and his silver suit there, in Captain America 341, 344, Cap goes up against the Serpent Society, and a president who is most assuredly Ronald Reagan gets infected by this stuff that's turning everybody into snakes, and the captain has to stop that nefarious plan. And last but not least, for this box, we've got Cap 345, both versions of Cap getting into some hot water. Various groups. Got the guardsman armor. I love the guardsman armor. It's awesome. And the watchdogs on this side, John Walker. And John Walker is going to end up kind of killing a bunch of the watchdogs, and that's going to put him on a spiral. And 349, we've got I'm trying to remember how this went. So I think it was Cap, our Cap, Steve Rogers, gets the shield back, and he's still going to work with Battlestar for a bit as a sidekick, something like that. And they're having a good time. And that is where we leave off with this box. And that's it. That's box number 35. Next, we'll do box 36. It's all Captain America all the time. It's a very patriotic box. So hope you'll be here and watch that. And thank you so much, and have a great day.